I've been having so much fun going through your Instagram and watching some of those aerials because I don't know what you're like when you delve into a sport that you haven't really spent that much time watching before, and you see someone who's well and truly on their way to doing it professionally. You go, all right, there's something I didn't even know these moves were a possibility. Is that like a so obviously the styles of surfing that certain surfers bring to the game are going to be very different, but in the like to use my own reference point of running, you've got 100-meter sprinters who are not going to dominate over 1500, and then you got the 1500 who are not going to dominate over the 100. Like, is what you're doing on the wave a very sort of white blood cell type, like a speed based kind of maneuver? And how does that vary to other competitors? Like, obviously, that's um, a real notch in your belt what you bring into the aerial game. But in terms of how people combat that or approach that or surf against that, what are you seeing people bring out at the moment? Because it seems as though there's no shortage of options of different tricks, and I mean it's just so wild, man. I don't even have the vocabulary because I'm not in the surfing world enough. But I hope that attempt at a question makes sense.
Yeah, no. It's pretty funny. Like there's guys that yeah, might not have kind of the quite explosive maneuvers and stuff, but like they're just so good mentally, and it's something I've actually been kind of talking with my coach and the sports psych is just like getting that job done. They're just incredible at going out. Um, Depending on who they're versing and what the other person actually does, they just go out and just do that much better. Like doesn't have to be surfing out of the skin or doing anything crazy. They just get the job done. And so they're so smart with their decisions, and they make sure that they're on the best waves. And so that's kind of the side of surfing that can almost combat kind of the highly explosive, because sometimes you just might not be on, and so like you can get smaller waves or not be in the right position to be able to do that explosive surfing. So those just they're so consistent at being on the good waves, and so they because they're doing that, it means that they've just got a better chance of getting higher scores. And so that's something that like I'm trying to work on, is like still be able to get the job done, as well as have the explosive side to my surfing, so that if I am surfing a person that's super consistent and just gets the job done, if they get the job done, if I get the job done, but it's like neck and neck and like super tight, then I've got that extra bit to go as well with the explosive side as well. Um, and so yeah, you have a couple guys on tour that they just get the job done every time, and they've been able to stay there for a while, and do so well actually. And one that comes to mind is Ace Buchan. Like he was there for years, and like he didn't win a world title. He did win a couple of events, but like he was just so consistent. He'd get quarters or kind of around that, and so he was on tour for so long, and so yeah, people kind of realize that that's something that you have to be able to work on, and it's something I'm working on still. So yeah, just trying to be that
Yeah,
consistent and be on the good waves, to be able to do good surfing, but then also hopefully be able to bring that explosive surfing as well.
yeah. So how many days a week are you in the gym?
Um, Varies a little bit, but like a usual week could be like 3 to 4 times. So yeah, I usually do like Monday, Tuesday, a little rest on Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday. So, but traveling, it's a little bit different. Try and do some stuff in the road, and yeah, like in an apartment or something like that. So it probably goes down to like 2 to 3.
Yeah. So are you balancing those sessions? I know you mentioned strength and mobility, but with the sessions that you do, are you incorporating both of those sort of fitness focuses into each session? Or is it like your Mondays, your strength, your Tuesdays, your mobility?
I'd say for the most part, it is combined into the one session. But like since being home this time, like I've kind of just been like kind of feeling my body's telling me like you're just absolutely drained, really low energy, and so it's actually been this time that I've had at home. I've been like, okay, this session's strength, and then the next session's just mobility and recovery. So I've broken it up a little bit more, and yeah, just given my body a bit longer to be able to recover from the previous session. So where usually I'd be doing a bit of strength in every session. So yeah, just kind of being able to feel out the body and be able to kind of notice the signs and stuff that it's kind of telling me. So being adaptable to that as well.
Yeah, I used to have a coach. He used to always say that the training programs were written in pencil. And the
Yeah,
reason he said that was because exactly what you just mentioned, like, especially the distance running world, it's a very, I don't know if it's the same. You guys always strike me as laid back when you're sitting on the beach. And then you get out to the waves. I'm like, these guys aren't laid back at all. Like, these are terrifying, these are terrifying creatures. Um, but it's interesting just hearing that approach because the idea of a surfer being malleable and a bit more flexible with their training, it just makes sense. It seems to suit the image. Whereas distance runners seem very obsessive, very um, just black and white. But the good athletes, the top athletes, it seems to be universal, regardless of what sport you're looking at, have this ability to go, okay, well, I'm clearly tired from the week that just was, or the session that I had. I'll adapt and adjust. So essentially, you've got a core standard that you're trying to hit each week, like with a certain amount of strength sessions, mobility, surfs, I imagine. And it's just a matter of listening to your body as to when you actually implement each of those. So it might not be a Tuesday, you might switch it up to a Saturday.
yeah, absolutely. No, it's something that I've kind of been working on as well. Like travel. Obviously, you can't really do too much at airports or in cars and stuff, and so yeah, just really being flexible. And so yeah, sometimes I train on the weekend if I've just haven't been able to get to it in the week. Try and have that weekend separate so that I can just have those 2 days rest. But sometimes I've had that rest in the week, and it's like okay. I had that day off and I need to do it on the weekend now. So yeah, being really flexible. And it's something that is so important in surfing because like you go to a contest and it's not a set schedule. And so yeah, like you can rock up and you've got a week period, but you rock up in the morning and then making a call, and so you just don't know if you're surfing or if you're resting, and so yeah, as a surfer, just that flexibility and being able to kind of just cruise with it and go with emotions is really important. And so obviously it kind of comes into training as well.